I'd like to welcome you to a special chat, a panel, talking about the relationships between the world of chess and the world of finance. Very appropriate, being at Cipriani's across the street from Wall Street. We have here Emil Sutovsky, Timur Turlov, Hikaru Nakamura. I don't need to introduce them all. And now I'll hand over the mic to the moderator, Milan.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. My name is Milan Dinic. I'm the press officer of FIDE and the press officer at this event here. And we're just going to have a very light conversation here with our three guests about the connection between business and chess, because obviously that's all about what this event here is. That's what this event is about. So let me introduce my guests. We have Grandmaster Hikaru Nakamura to my left, well-known global chess player and a chess streamer as well. Mr. Timur Turlov, the host, representative Freedom Holding, CEO, and CEO of FIDE, Emil Sutovsky, so a grandmaster. Now, I think it's interesting that we have this panel because all three are separate, have separate roles, but are all connected. So Hikaru, you are completely coming from the world of chess and ventured into the world of business through your streaming business. Timur, you completely come from the world of business, venturing into the world of chess. And Emil, with your role as CEO of FIDE, both worlds meet together. So you're a grandmaster, but your forte in recent years has been fundraising and making business connections. So Timur, let me start with a very practical question to you. Chess is a very individual sport, so it's one person completely in command of the pieces, that is the team. In business, it's a bit different. In business, it's teamwork. So how do you, in your company, manage excellent individuals and try to fit them into being good team players? Please take.
That's very interesting. I think that most exciting in management and most difficult in management to try to collect a lot of very talented people. Because when you're collecting kind of team of stars, it's very difficult to manage them. All of them as very bright individuals, all of them know what's better for company, what's better for strategy, and each of them has usually their own opinion how to better do the things. And a lot of these leaders don't compromise much. I think the inspiration and is one of the most important in this kind of leadership. If you can inspire your team, and if you can provide, unfortunately, we live all the time in some uncertainty. So we never can calculate till the end, usually. And we still need to take responsibility and make decision and still not be sure that this decision will be right. And I think most of the people respect if you really have if you truly believe in what you're doing, because it's very difficult still to understand what decision finally should be right. But if you're actually able to inspire people with your vision, and if you truly believe in what you are doing, people usually respect that very much. And I'm usually also trying to create some narratives that usually the teamwork for anyway can deliver much better progress rather than your individual. Even if the teamwork will not be as official as your personal decision, your team still will be able to provide a better outcome in the end of the day. Even if each of team member is not such efficient as it could be individually, they all together can contribute much more than any of them individually. And I think that's why corporations finally can win competition against some individuals. Not because any team member is more efficient than individual. Probably most of team members in big corporations is much less efficient than any single entrepreneur. But all of them collectively still much powerful. And it's such difficult to win competition personally against the big team who is more or less doing the same stuff. Who is moving maybe not exactly direction, but at least more or less the same. That's I think the most important, and I think it was the most interesting finding for me, that usually under some big stress you're making worse decision. And you have to take care about you have to keep some peace in your mind and keep your body in a good physical condition to be able finally to decide better. Because if you're under some big stress and you are not in the best condition, you're not slept well, you are feeling some sick, so you definitely will decide worse in any kind of, in business, in a game, anywhere. And the chess is a very good indicator of that.
Well, as you say, when you're under pressure, you often make mistakes or are tempted to make a mistake. So one of the main things is actually in your business and both in chess is risk assessment and good risk assessment. Hikaru, what can the world of business learn how to manage risk from the world of chess? What concept can be applied in the business world?
Well, I mean, I think chess, as you go through the levels, you eventually learn when to take risks and when not to take risks. Certainly at the very top level, I would say we're all very good risk managers. We're very good at understanding where you try to play for a win, where you try to play for a draw. The main thing I think in business is certainly being able to take the decision-making process and try to apply it, try to have confidence and believe in what you're doing. I do think that in chess, you basically are making decisions nonstop from the time you start playing, whether you get to my level, you're making endless decisions over and over again. And I think in normal life, many people make very few important decisions. And I think that ability to sort of think ahead and be comfortable making these decisions over the chessboard is definitely something that you can apply to business.
Okay, fair enough. And Emil, what about in your field? Obviously, you deal with chess every day, but also on the business side. Sometimes in chess, you start off with, the famous saying goes, everyone has a plan until they get the first blow, right? So in chess, you also have a plan, but adaptability is key, like in business. In mid-game, things can change. So how is that in your work?
Well, Timur and Hikaru already listed very important things. I would outline several more. There are similarities, and also there are some lessons which could be taken from the chess game. I think many mistakes, also in real life, but also in chess, are taken in a situation which is similar to the situation you know, and it's sort of false recognition of the pattern. And this one should be avoided, and top players know very well that it should not be automatically the case of how you operate under the visibly same, but not exactly similar, but not the same conditions. Second thing, which could be taken probably from chess to the practice of business, is art of preparation. Because as any top player would know, or even not top player, we are preparing ourselves very seriously for our opponent, for its opening, for strategy, and so on. And this I found sometimes being neglected even in the business world, because this due diligence process should go deeper, should take into many parameters and variables into account, as that's important. And there is one more thing necessarily not connected to the business world, but rather to the trading world, I would say. There is a famous chess motto or rule, I would say. First, I think, developed by Steinitz, who says that the one who has initiative has to attack. The one who possesses, whose pieces are already well placed, must take proactive steps, to seize the opportunity, otherwise his initiative will fade away. So the same happens when you're trading, for example. I mean, it can be the same, because if you hit a resistance and you cannot pass a resistance, you will fade away and you will fall down. So the same happens in chess. The big difference which I find maybe between the world of business, of negotiations, and chess, that chess is ultimately the game you're playing to win. And in a business world, you're playing to win-win. So that's a difference which I would find most important, and that's why for some chess players maybe the pattern which are very developed in business world is not easy to grasp, because we have been taught to fight to win. But in a business world, sometimes you don't need to win. You need to win with a smaller margin, not to lose your partner for the next time. So this is one. But obviously, I think that the skills which are developed by chess players, the ability to focus, the ability to know when to take important decision or when to pass, because all the top players, including Magnus, including Hikaru, they would know that there are some days that they would not just go for major games. They would try to play safe and to make it draw. even if it's not popular with the public, but they would know that they are not at their best. So the same is, I think, also important for business practices, because sometimes you just need not to take a decision, to delay, to play it safe, because there are days which are much more important than other days, and these key moments should not be missed. And you should be approaching them only when you feel that you are at your best, you know what you are doing, you know what your partners are doing, so you learned your task, and then there are very few key decisions which will determine your company or your well-being for many years to come. And in order to optimize yourself, you have to be knowing yourself, and the preparation and the practice always makes you to feel better at which point to take this or that decision. I think that's important.
One of the things mentioned in this concept that you pointed out is, in these various things that you pointed out, is dealing with time pressure and making decisions on time pressure. We've seen this here where the players were playing. Time management is a big issue. Timur, a specific question for you. How do you maintain composure and make sound decisions when under time pressure to make a decision?
Probably looks like in business it's a little bit easier to make decisions because it's probably if you don't know your decision almost instantly, it doesn't matter what kind of decision you finally will make. It's, in my experience, it really was very, you should know your decision instantly, or it doesn't matter much what kind of decision it will be. And in this case, just decide on something, because if you're just taking your time and still have no idea what will affect this decision, it will doesn't matter. It's much better really to believe in what you're doing, because if the situation is unclear, and we still, even if the situation looks very clear, sometimes you have to be very cautious. But if the situation is extremely unclear, it means that it's usually unclear for everyone. And that's in this situation, in a business, usually will that who will actually believe in that in his decision will almost certainly win. And that's not works that way in chess, as I understand.
And Hikaru, how can time management in chess, what can business learn? How do you, give us an example, how do you prepare yourself when you're entering Zeitnot, the famous challenge in chess? How do you deal mentally with that?
You're asking if they're the same or different?
Both.
Well, I mean, I think if there's anything I've learned from playing chess, or playing a lot of blitz chess and bullet chess specifically, I think that when you play these quicker formats of chess, you become very confident making decisions on the fly in the moment. And I actually think that when you get outside of chess, these gut instinct reactions or making quick decisions are a huge mistake. And that's one of the benefits, I think, from playing chess, is that you can actually learn that in business or pretty much any other field, you have a lot more time to think. And I think and there are many cases where certain decisions I make in the moment certainly aren't the best, actually, when you get away from the chessboard. So I think that the biggest thing you can learn is from having to make all these decisions and playing blitz or bullet or even rapid here today, is that you do have a little bit more time, so you can think a little bit more. And actually, I would say in chess, the opposite can be true too, that when you think too long in a classical game, normally that decision is the wrong one. So that is maybe the one difference I would draw some between business and chess.
And I'm going to just stick with one more question with you. You ventured from purely being a chess player into chess business. Obviously, the main thing in business, one of the main things is risk assessment. Can you give an example how chess thinking and chess logic help you make a decision for your business endeavors?
Well, I mean, I think for myself, I'll just talk about the whole streaming world. I think the thing that you have to realize is there are certain times when you're trying to grow a business. I'm talking about the business of content creation, that you have these big moments with lots of growth where there are a lot of people coming into the chess world who are starting to follow it. You follow your channels, social media, everything. And these sorts of periods of time are very, very important, that you really, I would say, grind culture mentality, where you really focus on making as much content as you can, always streaming every day. And then there are other moments where when things slow down, you can actually take it a little bit easier. So that it's very similar to playing in a top-level chess tournament, where there are certain times you might play Magnus and you want to make a quick draw and then try to beat someone like Fabiano, for example, as an example. And certainly, I would say that with content creation, you know, if I look back at the pandemic period, probably about March of 2020 till about August, I would stream 7-8 hours every day, and I had this feeling that the growth, while the numbers were spiking, you have to make the most of that situation, take advantage of it. And then there are periods like I would say now, or even most of 2023, where it's a little bit slower and you don't have to grind as hard. And it's really important, I think, in business and in chess to understand those moments when you really need to go all in, and other moments when you need to, you know, sort of pause or pass and take it slower.
Excellent, thank you very much. And just to kind of wrap this up slowly, Emil, you oversee chess on a global level, from FIDE activities and the professional events to all other events. How can chess influence global business decisions? And the same question will go to Timur.
Well, I think we're still far away from being influencers on a global business, but I think we are doing it indirectly. Because if you would see people here, and you would see many companies, especially of a finance sector, you would know that a large percentage of people who are employed, these are people who were chess players at their youth. And sometimes it's just impressive, like 20% or something like that of people who have been there. So there's skills which definitely can be copy-pasted. There are skills which are different, which should be adjusted, but still useful for you to becoming a person who would influence then the global economy and global business. I also think that there are some similarities once again. Maybe one pattern which chess players also could be, let's say, employing in their business life is, I would call it momentarily transformation, but maybe it's just something. It is a pattern which happens in the chess game, is the ability, and Hikaru is probably the best in the world in this. Just a second ago, just a minute ago, just a day ago, you were absolutely lost and in trouble on your board. But when the situation changed, you seize an opportunity, you're not happy with the draw anymore, and you are going for a maximum. So the same practice is actually in business, because, you know, everyone likes building long-term strategies. I mean, it makes you feel good. You have a long-term strategy. But you should not miss these opportunities, which are actually, if you look at it, these are not just opportunities by chance. It is not a matter of chance. These are recurring opportunities. They may look like they are just suddenly appear out of the blue, but it is not. Many things are happening in the world, and the world is complex, and the chess is complex enough. So the fact that your opponent would blunder in 5% of the game is not a chance. You would know that it would happen. The chance that you have during regrouping your pieces, you have some tactical blow. You shouldn't miss it by being, you know, very much focused on your general strategic ideas. So I think this, in a good way, opportunism is something that chess players really recognize when to take an opportunity, even having a longer-term strategic plan. And it could be, I think, applied in business, and I think many of leaders which I follow feel it very well.
Excellent, thank you. And Timur, just a final question. Your company supports chess, but if you caught one of your employees playing chess online in work time, would they get fired, or is that okay?
Of course, definitely.
Which? Fired or stay?
No, of course no. It's usually not the reason. We never fire people for their mistakes. We may fire for fraud, but not for mistake. And that's a very big part of our corporate culture. It's a very big part of our innovative culture, as I believe. And we will probably have more chances to fire a person who did not do mistakes and who did not innovate enough. Because if you're very active, so that's probably will result that you will make a lot of mistakes, and that's okay. If you're able to manage your risk, that's completely okay. It's much better to try and fail, try and fail, try and fail. It's not very easy to fail, but we're trying to support not just winners, but also that part of our team who sometimes make their mistakes.
Well, thank you very much. I think this is an excellent note to finish. Sorry, we wanted to keep this slide short and sweet. I'm aware that you need to play your games. I thank you all for your patience and hope this was useful and interesting. And thank you so much. Good luck to everyone. Thank you.